on the merits of the case. We are only looking at two aspects here: whether bail is the norm, and number two, whether Aryan Khan is being singled out. Dr. Ranganathan and Rizwan Siddiqui now next. Dr. Ranganathan, what do you make of this? Because you know the arguments on both sides, the legal arguments, but there are also rhetorical arguments that are being made. And a large number of people that I speak with in my newsroom, parents, they're of the view that, look, you know, the court has sent out a message, which is a sobering message to young people also, suggesting that, look, you know, while it's all fun, there are also repercussions, and it's not cool, it's not, you know, hip to be doing drugs. You know, there are consequences, and there are consequences for your mental well-being, physical well-being, and of course on society at large, because you're pulling in people, other innocents, also to partake in these alleged illicit activities. One. Two, there are others who are saying that, look, our child could be at a party. He may not know that there are drugs doing the rounds in this party, and he might be locked up for 17 days for no fault of his. And, you know, he might have used the word blast or whatever it is. Let's have a blast in his WhatsApp, and he finds himself behind bars. And that's dangerous. So there are arguments ranged on both sides. Where do you come in on this?
Yeah, good evening, Rahul. First of all, you know, I've been listening in rapt attention to this wonderful debate for the last 31 minutes. I must clarify that I am the only, I think, person on this esteemed panel who's not a lawyer. So anything that I say should not be used as evidence against me. Basically, as I see it, and I see it as a layman, let me clarify. There are 3 points on this particular issue. Let me delve into them very briefly, one by one. Number one, Rahul, doubtless, the BJP and the NCB do not emerge like a Cadillac from a car wash in all this. I am prepared to believe that the manner in which the investigation has progressed has been found wanting. You talked about the WhatsApp chats, etc. I am prepared to believe that the way in which BJP leaders were accompanying the officers who arrested and questioned Aryan Khan smacks of bias, inaptitude, or worse. I am even prepared to believe that the NCB is under the thumb of Modi, given that it is a central agency, and like all centrally controlled investigative agencies, at the beck and call of the powers that be, that control them. I'm prepared to believe all that. But am I prepared to believe that our courts and our judges are biased, prejudiced, incompetent, and vindictive towards Aryan? Forget as a layman, even as a lawyer, one would want to see evidence of that before one makes a conclusion. Exactly. Fact is that as little as 10 hours after the raid, a judge seized of the matter, and all the decisions till now have been on the orders of the Honorable Court. So one may say that the investigative agency quite rightly is working under Modi's behest, but are you saying that the judiciary, that too in an opposition-ruled state, is working under the orders of Modi? Point number two, if the prosecution has produced thin evidence and ridiculous arguments not based on law or logic, why has the judge, I ask, not ridiculed them and set them aside? Also, for those who call this as a vengeance, quote-unquote, vengeance against a Muslim superstar, the very thought is repugnant, Rahul. Shah Rukh is a superstar not because he's a Muslim. And besides, Aryan's mother is a practicing Hindu. But the same bigoted communal journalists, I'm saying, this case is vengeance against a Hindu. Also, there are 7 others who have been arrested, and 5 of them are Hindu. Point number 3, very briefly. While I do, of course, agree with Mr. Kothari, as you as well, that bail must be the norm and jail an exception, the fact remains that a magistrate is seized of this matter. And so if he is denying bail to Aryan, is he doing it out of spite for his father? Or is he doing it on the basis of evidence of factors like flight risk, tampering of evidence, etc.? Also remember that under the NDPS Act, the possession or consumption can have the same rules as CRP as far as bail is concerned, but trafficking is different. Finally, very finally, Rahul, just 10 seconds. Are the courts only being vindictive against Aryan, or have they always been vindictive, given that 419,310 under trials pack our prisons denied bail, 70% of our prison population? Let the officers of court on this panel answer this question.
Well, you know, I asked that question of Mr. Mukul Rohatgi. Why would the courts? And he said that this was an incredible, and he used another adjective, I'd rather not use it, incredible kind of situation. Laughable, let me be honest. That's what he said, laughable. So I asked him, why would the judge abet in an act of laughable, you know, jurisprudence? Why would he do it? And I didn't get a clear answer. What I got was well, you know, judges come under pressure, there's media, there's this, there's that. I didn't know that the media actually has such a say in court. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Around 10 seconds.
Yes,
yeah.
Dr. Ranganathan.
You know, you started your question to me with a very, I would say, a very popular, if cliched premise. You didn't mean to use it as a cliche, but what you meant was that the judges must set an example. That's what you meant, that justice must not only be done, it must be seen to be done. I'm afraid as a layman again, I'm not a lawyer. There are very erudite lawyers on this panel. I disagree with that. If justice is done, it would be seen to be done. And those who don't want to see it, the judges should not set an example. The very thought is, troubling for me. That,
Sure.
You must go by evidence and by law. Don't set an example for him.
Well, the reason I use that sort of layman analogy myself was because that's the debate really.